Illinois lawmakers took another step today to make Governor Pritzker's proposed new early childhood agency a reality. Now, the State House Child Care Accessibility and Early Childhood Education Committee voted unanimously to pass legislation creating the agency, which would streamline the administration of early childhood education and bring services currently spread across several state agencies under one roof.
This bill will position the state to make early childhood simpler, better, and fairer. It will make it easier for families to access services. It will allow the state to more equitably serve high-need families. And it will also reduce the administrative burden on providers.
If the bill becomes law, the agency would take about 2 years to stand up and start providing services in the mid-year of 2026. The bill unanimously passed out of a state Senate committee last week.